Studio. It's been a while since I've made a video. Actually, I've made like 2 videos, I think, that I didn't actually end up posting, but I'm back. I was in Ohio for a week visiting family, and it was super busy, and I got sick. On the airplane on the way there, everyone around me was just coughing, and I'm like, I know I'm gonna get sick, and I did. So I'm still kind of recovering from that, but back home now and getting settled in, getting back to work. I have a lot of things to work on right now. I'm going to need to be working on my book more, my graphic novel specifically, but also, even though it's only August, the holiday season, in terms of like when people start purchasing for that and when I need to start like making things for that is coming. And so I'm trying to kind of wrap my head around all those things right now. But the Saturday that I left for Ohio, my envelopes I'd been waiting for my Patreon print finally arrived, but I was leaving. So my patrons have been really patient and have waited for me to get back. And I got my envelopes from Paper Source. I'm irritated because of how long it took them to get here. I think they must have been out of stock, and it didn't say that when I ordered. But anyway, they finally arrived. If you guys are looking for envelopes for anything, I do recommend them. Mine that I use are this color that's called Pool, and they're recycled paper, and they have so many colors. So anyway, yeah, I'm not sponsored by them at all, but anyway, just that's where my envelopes came from, and they finally arrived so I can get my Patreon things out. That also means that I needed to work on finishing the little bookmarks. I was making handmade bookmarks for my patrons for last month in celebration of my 1 year of being on there, and I figured since my envelopes weren't in, I wasn't going to push myself to get those bookmarks made yet because I had some other orders and things that were really pressing that needed to go out before I left. But today I worked on getting those cut out, printed and cut out. And yeah, so I just finished that, and I figured I would give my hands a break because after writing all those addresses on the envelopes and cutting out all those bookmarks, my hands are kind of sore and tired. But I'm thinking about for Christmas, if I want to offer some bookmarks in my shop, they'd probably be like $5 or so, and they're on this kind of stiff watercolor paper. I think they're really fun and just like a nice little gift. You guys know that I offer stickers, but I thought that would be something else maybe fun. So if you think that's a good idea, comment below and let me know what you think about that. And if you have any specific characters in mind that you think would be cute for that. I know like as the cold weather starts coming, people start reading more and thinking more in that way. So yeah. And speaking of like cooler weather, my mind is messed up right now. Speaking of cooler weather, in my shop I have new things, and one of those things is mugs. Super excited. I can't like remember if I addressed this in my last video, but since I posted my last video, they are officially up. So I have mugs that have black and white illustrations on them. I might have some color illustrations available in the future, but right now I'm just doing black and white to avoid dealing with any kind of color discrepancies when it comes to the mugs. And then I have tote bags and canvas prints. I was doing pillows, guys, and I was super excited about them. You guys saw me talking about my pillows and everything. The quality was so good, but turned out that there was kind of a miscommunication between me and my manufacturer, and seems like it's going to just be too much of a difficult process to continue doing the pillows. So I have those kind of on hold for now. I'm really disappointed about that because obviously it makes me feel really stupid to be like really excited thinking that, you know, everything's good to go, getting samples from multiple places, making sure I know what I like, etc. But anyway, if you did order a pillow, they're amazing quality, and I think you're gonna be really happy with it. But right now, they're not in my shop. Mugs, however, are, and canvases and tote bags. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this in my last video or not, but I'm working on getting pre-orders in for my sea otter pin. You guys know Charles the Sea Otter. If you've followed me for a while, he's one of my characters and one of my best-selling prints in my shop. And I decided it'd be really cute to make him into a little enamel pin. He's gonna be the size of Mr. Tibbles, which is like 1.5 inches. So a nice little petite size. My pins like tend to keep being bigger than I think they're gonna be, but I know that like he's the same shape as Mr. Tibbles and everything, and so I made sure that he's gonna be the same size. So I still need a few more orders for those in order to get those fully funded. It's taking a little bit longer. I haven't been able to like advertise about it as much as I would like to because I was on my trip and stuff. So anyway, if you want a sea otter pin, he's in a little yellow raincoat, he's adorable, then go on over to my shop, which the link is in the description below, and you can go ahead and get yours. Pre-order people get first dibs on all of the perfect grade ones, and then whatever's left over I make available in my shop. And the near perfect, which usually have like maybe like a little speck in the enamel, nothing like major like a crack or something, those ones are put in my shop at a discounted price, so you can choose something that fits your budget best. So yeah, that's what's going on. And yeah, if you guys have ideas for me for things that you think you'd like to have in the shop. Now, I say this, okay, you don't know how many times I say, if you think something would be cute, let me know. And then I spend a bunch of money on that thing and then no one buys it. So don't like say something unless you really want it, okay? And you really believe that you will purchase it. Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, and getting caught up on my Patreon stuff today. I completed a few weeks ago, I completed my whole script for my graphic novel, which is really exciting. I know that it needs some tweaks and things, so going to be editing that soon. And it feels kind of like, you guys know, like imposter syndrome, where you feel like you are never really, and I mean not necessarily an expert, but like an expert in your field, you know, like if you get together with other illustrators or, you know, whatever it is that you do, other writers, and you say, oh, like for me, I'm thinking, oh, I wrote a graphic novel, like it's officially, like the whole script is officially written, so I feel like I can say I've written a graphic novel. But that sounds like such a lie to me, and it's not. Like, there's no reason it's a lie, but it feels like a lie when I talk about it. So that's a weird thing for me to talk about, and I'm excited though to see kind of just where it goes. And yeah, and I also redid Mr. Tibbles' book dummy, which is a black and white version of the book. I went through and I updated a lot of those illustrations. I feel a lot better about it now. I also simplified some of the text, and I think that I found I was maybe using too many words when the pictures were really doing a good job at showing what was happening. So the writing is something that I wouldn't say like I don't like struggle with it, like feel like I can't even like put anything on the paper, but I am not trained in it, and so I don't feel very confident or feel like I know, you know, what is good. And, you know, I rely on sharing it with other people, getting feedback from agents and things like that to start to kind of like learn, you know, learn what's up, to learn what's good. So anyway, it's just, yeah, it's really an interesting journey right now, but I'm really thankful that I have my patrons that have been supporting me and allowing me to have the time to work on these things. I think this year I'm going to have to kind of limit pet portraits for the holidays a little bit more, so I do recommend that you go ahead and order that. I know it sounds crazy, but if you want to order something custom, I start getting orders in September, and every year I tell people order as early as possible, and every year I still have people on like December 10th saying, can you squeeze me in? So please go ahead and order sooner rather than later, because I don't know exactly what the next few months hold in terms of like my books, and what kind of time I'll need to be devoting to that. So go ahead and order, because things are just up in the air, and I want to make sure that if you've been like waiting all year to get a custom thing from me for someone, and you want to do it for Christmas or you want to do it for yourself, you know, for the holidays, then I want to make sure that you get to do that. So yeah, so let me know and go to my shop and go ahead and place your order, and then you can email me pictures and stuff. But yeah, I know this has kind of been like a little bit rambly. I couldn't think of specifically like what to talk about today, but I just felt like, I don't know, I hadn't really sat and updated you guys in a while, and yeah, just let you guys know what I'm up to. Let's see, someone on Instagram wanted me to talk about my process, my creative process from beginning to end. And I said, what would you like me to share on my next YouTube video? And that's what they said. And I'm not sure if they meant like showing it, which I feel like I've done a lot on my channel, but I thought maybe I could talk about it a little bit. So if I'm going to be doing a piece, I will, and whether that's just like a standalone illustration or if I'm starting a new story, I typically am inspired by something that I see, either an experience that I have, going out in nature, seeing a certain type of animal, learning something new, going to a museum. Lots of things like that inspire my work. And so once I have an idea in my mind, I might start to try to come up with the color palette I want to use and like the overall mood that I want the piece to have. And I will often do that by going onto Pinterest and avoiding at all costs pretty much looking at other art. But I do look at photographs that have, you know, like, say if I'm working on a story that is about, you know, the ocean, then I'm going to be looking for, you know, oceany pictures, creatures from under the sea, trying to come up with some color palettes from nature to use for the story and to create the vibe. If I'm drawing an animal or a character in their home, I look a lot at interior design and furniture and things, and I try to think of what they would choose for their space to try to help tell the story, because I do think that when you go into someone's home, you can tell so much about them, whether it is a very undecorated home, there's still usually something you can find in there that will give you a hint, and I mean, and even if it is undecorated, what does that say about the person? So yeah, and for me, I am someone who, like, I don't say, well, and this is mostly just because I don't have the money to do this, but I don't really ever just decorate a whole room. I'm not like, oh, okay, I've got this much money, I'm gonna go to the store and buy everything. I want to make the space look how I want it to. Basically, I mean, right now I'm in a situation where my furniture isn't even mine. We're in a furnished place, but when we did have all our furniture and everything, it's collected over the years. It's given to us by family. The decor is, you know, I have a cuckoo clock that I came across in a consignment shop when my husband and I were dating, and I had been wanting one so bad, and he got it for me for my birthday. So like I have that, I have vases from my sister that are kind of an Asian vibe. She got them for me because my favorite umbrella stand that was the same kind of China pattern broke, and I was kind of devastated about it. So, you know, I have things that, you know, have been collected as we've moved and things like that. So all those go to show something about me and my story, and that's what I try to do with my characters. So I try to kind of collect and curate items, whether it has to do with their clothes, their home, the city they live in, just things that will give you more of an all-encompassing view of who they are. And that's something I've gotten a lot of opportunity to do in my graphic novel, because there's so many different places that my characters go, and kind of have gotten to show, you know, make a whole world basically, which is one of the most fun things about writing a story and getting to illustrate it, doing both of those things. And also one that is a long one versus like a picture book. So yeah, so that's why I start. I get inspired by something I see or something I'm thinking about, something I experience, and then I start visually kind of coming up with a concept of what I want things to feel like and what I want things to say about my character. And I start doing character sketches from different angles and trying to figure out, you know, poses and expressions, things like that, the way that they move, what their body language is like. And then I work on my iPad and I come up with the sketch for the scene I'm going to illustrate, and kind of get that refined as much as possible because I want that to be set in stone before I start my actual painting. So I get that ready, I print it off on watercolor paper, and then I start painting. And I have started using so many different types of materials over the years. I used to basically just do watercolor and pen, but now I do watercolor, colored pencil, acrylic paint, gouache, pen, charcoal, not really charcoal, but things like that. Chunky pencils. So yeah, so I've started really using like a lot of materials. So I'll go in with all of the traditional media, like the physical like items that I can work with, like paint and pencils, and put everything in that I want to that way, and then I scan it and I do some finishing things on my iPad, whether that is the outlining or maybe just adding more contrast in certain areas. Really depends on the piece, what I the kind of feeling I want it to have. If it needs to feel really light and airy, I might just leave it more watercolor. Yeah, so that is pretty much my process I go through. And yeah, I'd love to hear what your process is below. Is it similar to mine? Is it totally different? I mean, I'll say sometimes, you know, I'm just sitting on my couch on my iPad doodling something, or I have an idea, and then I end up using that finished idea for like a print or something. But when it comes to my my book work and coming up with illustrations for my portfolio, I usually put a little bit more time and thought into those to try to convey whatever it is I'm trying to convey the best. So yeah, but thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I know that it's I've just been talking a lot, but I hope you enjoyed this. I'd love if you guys would comment below with what your creative process is like, and I hope that you are enjoying the last bits of your summer if you are in the Northern Hemisphere, and I'm sure if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, you are looking forward to a little bit of warmer temperatures. Personally, as you can see from my cup and my sweater, I'm pretty anxious for fall. So yeah, but I hope you guys have a great day, and if you want to join me on Patreon, the link for that is below, and you guys will help me to continue working on my graphic novel and other stories, and also get awesome things in the mail each month like you saw today. So yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.